Bradley Van Herbst here again with Brides, Bumps, and Babies Photography. Another episode in the video blog series, part 2 with Rachelle of Maternal Instincts. And today's topic is going to be sleep training and focusing on her book, Creating Sweet Dreams, which is also the name of
my sleep coaching business.
That's the name of the business, and focused on sleep training.
Yep.
So we'll just put this back up here again in case we can see it.
Nice.
So I'm just going to kind of kick it to you and just give folks a little bit of a top line, and then as questions come up, maybe I'll spur you to dig a little deeper on certain topics. So what should they know?
So I think the biggest thing to go over when you're choosing a sleep coach and an expert in the field is that you have somebody who's worked in the field and who's studied in the field. So a lot of parents are sleepy moms, and then they become sleep coaches. So their personal experience carried them into the profession, just like somebody who took care of one of their family members, and then it triggered them into a career of nursing or something along those lines.
Got it.
There's some event in life that then carries them through to their career. Well, my career as a sleep coach has been my entire life. I've done nothing different. And
how so?
I started, saying it loosely, I started babysitting when I was 12, and then I started actual night nanny care when I was 16.
Were there any early instances where you could actually go back and go, I helped that kid sleep without even having any training that you have now? Do you know what I mean? Like, was there any early, I got a knack for this at 12 or 13 or 14? So
that happened to me between 16, 17, 18, even all the way up till 21. I would say I was working with my sisters, and my oldest sister, godsend, she was my mentor through this whole process. But she was my teacher, she was my guide, she would take me with her. And there, at that time, there just wasn't a formal training for newborn care or sleep specialists. I mean, you could get degrees in sleep and education on the whole pediatric field of sleep development and how it all goes. And at the time we were doing in-home care with infants. And so we had the field experience, and there wasn't a formal training for us on just getting into that kind of field experience. The old terms of being a baby nurse and things like that. That's what we started off as. So I started very young, and I worked my way through college, and that was what I did for a living. And most people were bartenders and waitresses, and I was a night nanny.
Really?
So, that was just the whole way through.
And was your schooling in college geared towards any of this, or just?
So I started in nursing, and I switched over to nutrition. So my degree is nutrition and dietetics.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like it is a pivotal point in why I'm so good at sleep training. And it is because I spent time studying anatomy and physiology and the development of the human body and development of sleep, and this was all part of my degree, and it paired with what I was already doing. So
how does nutrition come in? I mean, I know food is huge, our fuel, but fuel for energy we always think about, but what about if you want to sleep, eat a big bowl of pasta and crash, or is there other healthier ways? Like I take some melatonin, but that's supposedly natural. I don't know.
Yeah.
So how does nutrition play into it?
Nutrition, when it comes to the pediatric field, when we're focusing on the nutrition and development of a baby in the first year, we're really able to go through and say, my 4-month-old had 24 ounces in a 24-hour period. They're supposed to have 500 calories in that time period. Did we meet our daily needs? And you can take this into adulthood, but there's a different form of food, right? You're eating how many different styles of food and different food groups in one day. They're having just milk. And it's one source that we can count and we can calculate, and we can come down to a pretty good idea of where they're at calorically. And so that's a huge part of what we do with the sleep training. And then when it transitions around 6 months and they start solids, then we can tiptoe into introducing nutrient-dense solids, foods that are high in protein, because there's a lot of muscle repair and growth in that first year where their trajectory of growth is the fastest it's ever going to be. And so their muscles are constantly needing the protein to repair. And the fat, brain development is the highest between birth and 3 years old. So we need to have a great fat content to keep up that brain development. And
who would think? There's good fats and bad fats even for infants, or is it?
Sure, but they're going to get the primary source of their fat from their milk.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to come through either mom's milk or formula, but they're going to get their calories and their fat from their milk.
Yeah.
And then when we're moving to solid foods, we're going to do things like avocados, bananas, sweet potatoes, nutrient dense, great calorie count on each one of them, and they're going to have a good fat content. I mean, avocado you can throw in with anything. They love sweeter foods because breast milk's a little sweeter, so they're going to want things like, you know, maybe they get sick of the avocado and we'll mix it with a pear sauce or something along those lines. Banana's a big hit. That's always a great
So you're part
first
chef
food.
too, baby chef.
I do love making bone broths. That is one of my favorite things ever, and it is one of my first food suggestions for families is to introduce a bone broth as one of the liquids. So the nutrition degree and kind of the background in that gave me a backbone. We do have to take cooking classes in our program, so we do have to learn some of the basic skills, and then we have to take classes on the human body, the anatomy and physiology, and then we have to take classes on how all of the master nutrition breaks down through your body and the micronutrients and macronutrients, and all of it has been a learning tool for me to bring to babies and parents. It's been...
Well, my head's spinning. I can tell she knows what she's talking about. So it's like, this is why you bring her on and her team, is because there's so much knowledge and you don't have to know all this stuff. You should probably, they should be educated to a certain degree, but they don't need to know everything.
Right. So the reason you hire a sleep expert is because you want somebody who knows this so well that they can translate it to you without you having to spend the same 15, 17 years I've spent in the career. You want somebody who's good at what they do, and they can come like you consult anybody in your life. If you want an expert business coach or a doctor who's going to give you a diagnosis on some level, you want them to know what they do and do it well.
So what's the timing? So, hey, had the baby. Whether they consulted you a little bit before, when do you come in? Day one? Like with the actual, are you training them to do it on their own, or are you coming in like the Maternal Instincts night nannies and working with them at night, or like literally how does it work? Hi, I'm interested, I'm about to have a baby. Hey, we had the baby's home. How would that go? I
can do coaching from birth through 18 months, and that's going to be giving you plans as your baby grows and develops, because there's no one plan that's going to take you through the whole thing. That's not reasonable. Their growth is too fast. There's too many changes. So I can help from birth through 18 months and just giving step-by-step processes. And then I can also help crisis mode. I call them crisis mode. But a lot of parents will call me, we hit the 4-month sleep regression, baby's up every 2 hours, what do we do? And then they'll call me and we do a 2-week plan, and we make sure that by the end of that 2 weeks that we've implemented a great sleep plan, we're successful. So I can do that through coaching, and I can do that nationwide, or I can have a provider come in home and actually do the implementing for you. So if you're at that place of sleep deprivation where you're like, I've hit my peak, I am done, I can't implement a plan right now, then we can come in and we can do that for you.
Yeah. So it can be on site or remote.
Yeah, but right now I'm getting a lot of remote because the plans are so effective that I can really coach a lot of parents through being able to do this themselves.
So it could be global.
Yeah.
How many languages? Do you speak other languages?
My husband does, but I don't. I actually am working with a family right now from Australia, so that works. I'm trying to tiptoe over the water.
Wow. I mean, so again, it's consulting with the client. The clients say, here's what's going on. Maybe in the early on, they don't have any data because it's been 3 days or something, but you can say, generally, we start off saying, do something like this, call me back in 2 to 3, how's it working? Like, how much interaction back and forth? Is it once a week check-ins, or can they call? Is there rules? Like, you get a plan, based on money, is seven consults over the course of 6 months, or is there any, rules, or if they need an emergency, like, Rachelle, please, how does that work?
And they both happen. So in the book, the entire first section is all the 4th trimester, which is going to be the first 12 weeks postpartum.
Yeah.
And that's going to give you a way to look at communications from your baby on where they're at with sleep. And one of the biggest communications our babies give us when they're ready to start understanding, when their body's starting to understand the difference of day and night, is that they stop having bowel movements at nighttime. So we have no more poopy diapers at night. And that's a pretty significant one because you notice if you've changed a poopy at night or not. You're like, oh goodness, I don't have to change any more midnight poopy diapers. But it's a communication that the body's giving to the parents that we're going into a deeper rest and repair sleep. I'm understanding the difference of day and night a little bit more. So those are little guidances I can give in the postpartum first 12-week period. But my sleep plans, the 2-week implementation of a plan, is going to be anything past 4 months. Anything before 4 months old, they're just still getting to be ready. Anything past 4 months old, we have some pretty good grounding that we can take steps forward in their nighttime sleep. And that doesn't always mean sleeping through the night. It means that we're going to get as many hours as your baby's body is ready, and then we can grow from there. And you asked me, what does it look like? Like, what's the actual plan?
Yeah, just like, when, you know, we don't have to go into like all your offerings and stuff. I'm just curious, like, if it is based on number of calls or...
It does. It goes, so I have 3 different packages, and you can go off of, I call them crisis mode. So that's kind of, I'm in this pinch right now. And then I have plans that carry you through the big regressions. They call them sleep regressions, but they're usually, well, they are correlated directly to a big growth spurt. So 4 months is a growth spurt of calories. We're increasing our caloric needs. 6 months old is body movement. So our babies are starting to roll over, sit, move, and they need to change their whole schedule and daytime expectations to developmentally where they're at. And then 8 months old is another one, 10 months, 12 months, and 18 months. They all have a rhyme and a reason behind why the sleep is changing. And it's my job to make sure that you know why, and you're not kind of blindly figuring out, what am I doing?
Yeah, right on. Is that pretty much a good kickoff, you think, for people to at least be interested enough to know that they need to call you? Or is there any other topics you want to dive into on this?
No, just I love talking sleep, as you can tell. So if they have sleep questions, we have an amazing Facebook group that's very supportive, and then we have personal consults.
What's the Facebook group? I know I'm in it, but I forget the exact name of it.
Ask a Baby Expert.
Ask a Baby Expert on Facebook. And again, the book, Creating Sweet Dreams, is available where?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah,
right
on Amazon.
And I have a copy at home. So the first new mom that wants to contact me that has watched this vlog, I will send it to you for free. So shoot an email to bradley@bridesbumpsbabies.com. You're on the website, so you just go to the contact page.
And I'll sign it for you.
Yeah, and it's I think you already did sign it.
Good.
So I'll check, but if not, I'll bring it over and she'll sign it for you. So I think that's going to wrap it up. So Creating Sweet Dreams, give Rachelle a call, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.